Welcome into the H&H Podcast. I'm your boy Ahmad Hicks. That's Henry Lake. I'm kind of fighting, trying to get my voice back here. Got some sinus issues, but nonetheless, we're here.
LA took it out of you.
It took it out. Man, that Vikings game took it out of all of us. Let's talk about that to begin. That Thursday night football debacle versus the LA Chargers, where they got spanked 37-10. Nothing went right for them. In that locker room after the game, it was tough. Not many guys wanted to talk. The run defense, I think, needs to be talked about. Last year, they were number 2 in stopping the run. This year, 24th in the league out of 32 teams. And this is after they spent millions of dollars to revamp their defensive line and traded away Harrison Phillips because of the guys they had. And now they look worse than they did last year.
Yeah, when I went on my show the next day, I just kind of went and talked about all the people, right, that you have to look at and put under the microscope, whether it's Kwesi, whether it's B-Flow, whether it's KLC. I think everybody at this particular time should take a little bit of criticism.
For sure.
And, I mean, I just got so many questions about, like, defensively, why we were just getting gashed by, like, third-string running backs.
Vidal, whatever his name is.
Like, I don't understand that at all.
Yeah, me neither.
You know, that's an issue. I mean, Carson Wentz he took a pounding. He took a beating. And you look, one thing that we can look at and say about Carson Wentz unequivocally is that he is tough.
Very.
He's a gamer. He wants to be out there. He wants to win.
Very.
He was gutting it out. Should Max have came into the game and replaced them a little bit earlier? Yes. But like I told you, they are not going to put Brosmer out there and us get a glimpse of him making some plays, and then everybody's looking at JJ like, JJ, you see what's happening over here? Yeah. They're just not going to do that right now.
You know, it's funny because I kind of brought that up in the press box. And I was like, maybe they just don't want a quarterback controversy because Carson was not getting the job done. He was getting, just pummeled in the pocket. And my thing is like, all right, he came into that game with a banged-up shoulder. Pretty severe injury from what I understand. But Kevin O'Connell won't play J.J. McCarthy until he's 100% healthy. Yet we're trying out this backup that's like 60%. And you got another third-string quarter. So what somebody said in the press box was like, well, it's kind of like a relief pitcher getting beat up in a baseball game. You just let him out, leave him out there, take the blows.
No, it's not that.
That's what somebody said.
It's not. What? Off camera, I need their name. Well, because I need to go do the whole Debo.
Well, here's their thing.
No.
The line couldn't protect anybody.
Nobody.
Right? So you take Carson out, who's banged up. You put Brosmer in. What if he gets banged up? Then what quarterback do you have to back up?
That's football, though, man. That's football. Like you can't go through the process of putting people out there saying, well, I can't put this person out there because everybody's going to get hurt. Now, that's just part of the game. And it is nowhere near the same situation with regards to taking one for the team and trying to save your bullpen. That is not how football operates.
No, it's not. I would talk about the run game, but the offensive line has been bad. They played a lot of combinations, the second most combinations in the national.
Return to Aaron Jones, at least he's healthy now.
Aaron Jones, but 5 carries, 15 yards. Yeah. Jordan Mason, 4 carries, 3 yards. Xavier Scott, 2 carries, 16. A total of 34 rushing yards. That's no way to protect a quarterback because you're putting them in drop-back scenarios where they got to pass, and then Christian Darrisaw pulls himself out the game after one quarter. He didn't look good in that first quarter. No Brian O'Neill after playing all the snaps.
That's a concern, by the way. Yeah. Like Darrisaw, and he's still struggling with the knee.
You're talking about just being last week was exactly 1 year removed from when he shattered his whole knee in Los Angeles versus the Rams.
Hopefully he didn't come back too soon,
You got to think, when I was talking to him, I was like, what'd you tear? He was like, everything, bro. He was like, it wasn't just my ACL. He was like, everything in my knee. So you talk about his timeline, recovery, coming back, playing with that big brace. You're talking about a guy.
And he don't like the brace anyway.
Exactly, because you're talking about a guy who, literally was almost squatting to the ground in his pre-stance, last season before a snap. And now it's like, you can't do that with a brace on. So this offensive line. They spent a lot of money there. Will Fries didn't look good this past game. He got a 5-year, $88 million contract. Ryan Kelly, 2-year, $18 million deal, has only played a game and a half. Donovan Jackson's a rookie, so you can't put too much on him. But Brian O'Neill has a contract making over $70 million, I think, 18, 19 plus this season.
What about the D-line?
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
We're getting
there. I'm about to say all lines.
We're getting there. it starts in the trenches.
Yes.
And I think that's why the Vikings failed. And Coach Harbaugh with the Chargers is known, like, if you're going to revamp things and turn things around, it starts with the offensive line and defensive lines. And I think they got their butts whooped offensively and defensively.
Yeah, and what's going on with Hargrave? Like I don't understand what's going on there. He's a much better player than he was a better player.
I'm about to say, is he?
I thought he was.
Maybe that's why the Eagles and 49ers let him go.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not good money spent right now. And then Jonathan Allen, he's at the tail end. I don't know, man. You got to look at it from all phases and say that the offseason to this particular point has not been a great one for Kwesi.
You can pack that with the fact that he doesn't draft well.
Yeah, that's not good. And they waited a while to give him that extension. And the other thing about this, though, and I talked about this at the end of last week, with Kevin O'Connell, we trusted him to develop quarterbacks, right? Because he's the quarterback whisperer. But is he?
Somebody asked that this past weekend.
Is he really the quarterback whisperer? And the reason why I bring this up, and, shout out to my guy Matthew Collar from Purple Insider, I brought this up with Matthew, too, after I did the segment. All of the quarterbacks that he's helped steer in the right direction are vets. Mm-hmm. They've got experience. Kevin O'Connell does not have one guy that is newly minted, a rookie, a young guy that he has put into the mix, and they've been awesome. Not one. It's been all reclamation projects. It's all been vets. That's what it's been.
Now, are we too critical of him right now? Because, he hasn't had a long time with J.J. McCarthy. He hasn't played ball.
No, but I think the question should be asked. That's all. That's
Fair.
all. I'm not saying that KOC is not the quarterback whisperer. I'm not saying that you can't give him a guy and he can't mold that guy into being the guy. I'm saying we haven't seen it yet. And also, let's keep it 100. Leading up to the draft, the guy that it sounded like they were really in love with was Drake May.
Yeah, you see why. You see why. He's playing good football.
He's playing really good football.
Allegedly, they offered quite a bit to move up. 2 first-round picks, a first in this previous year's draft, to move up and get him. But they couldn't.
They couldn't move up and get him.
The Patriots said, no dice. We got our guy.
So do we love J.J. McCarthy like that, or do we really love Drake May like that?
I think a lot of teams love Drake May. A lot of teams want to trade.
No, I know,
Drake
but
May.
there was the connection with was it McCowan or something like that?
Josh McCown,
yeah, from the high school. That's all I'm saying. So, there's a lot of questions.
So this leads us
that need to be answered. Please.
This leads us right into my next segment about the Vikings.
Okay,
JJ's return. Mm-hmm. Pretty much, Kevin O'Connell made it clear if he's healthy, which they believe he's turning the corner, he's going to get back in that starting quarterback rotation. Do you think that's the answer for the Vikings right now?
I'm not sure that the answer for the Vikings is in the quarterback room. But we need to see what JJ has.
Right.
Like, you invested a top 10 pick into J.J. McCarthy, and I'm not willing to sit here and say that J.J. McCarthy can't ball out. I hope he can ball out.
Right.
But this is what I will say to Ahmad Hicks, and I will say to the Fox 9 viewers. Pure and simple, J.J. McCarthy has to prove that he's not Christian Ponder. I said it. J.J. McCarthy needs to prove that he is not Christian Ponder.
Dang.
Because if he can't prove that, we're going to stay traumatized.
Tough comparison there.
Spielman, I called it out the day that he did it. I said, that's a reach. You reach for that dude.
I remember that.
Because everybody was drafting quarterbacks, and I was like, that's a reach. And, oh, no, we didn't reach. Yeah, you did.
I think J.J. McCarthy can play good football. But I think it also depends on the guys up front and the guys around him. He didn't have Jordan Addison the first couple of games. Now he has this guy, the guy he had a connection with during training camp, things like that. You mix in Justin Jefferson, who he didn't get to practice with during training camp. So it's like, all right, the guys are there offensively up front, though. You you still don't know what you're going to get. You hope that after kind of a lengthy break that Brian O'Neill and Christian Darrisaw are ready to roll because they're going to need them taking on Aiden Hutchinson and this Detroit Lions team. But I think that we need to be patient with JJ. Give him at least 5 to 6 games under his belt before we be like, this guy's not the answer. I think that
I agree.
If with the weapons, with the line, there's a possibility for him to be good. And I think we just need to be a little bit more patient with him and KOC right now because they're getting dealt a tough hand right now. Defensively, though, you lose patience there.
Yeah, and I gotta be honest. I mean, what we saw in the Chargers game, it could be worse against the Lions. Because Jahmyr Gibbs right now is arguably the best back in the league.
Special.
Jared Goff, we know what he's going to do to your defense. We ain't even mention Ahmad.
Ross.
Yeah, Laporta. Oh, my
They're not
goodness.
even using Jameson Williams right now either. A speed threat. I'm not looking forward to that game.
No, I'm not.
We got a 2-hour post-game show after that game on Fox 9.
Oh,
so
wow.
Make sure y'all tune in because that game's on Fox. And then we got a 2-hour post-game show right after that game.
2 hours? That y'all going to be lit.
Well, it's from 3 to 5. So if the game ends at 3:30, 3:45, it may, just be an hour and some change. But I'm crossing my fingers because that locker room was tough last week. And if they go out there and get beat down versus the Lions, it's going to be a long season, Lake.
Oof.
I don't know how many stories we go get out of them.
Yeah.
All right, now speaking about a long season, it looked like it was going to be a great season for the Gophers this past weekend. 5-2, came off of all phases, like beatdown of Nebraska, offense, defense, special teams, got everybody thinking like, man, they can go beat Iowa, get 6-2, bowl eligible. Then they got Michigan State, they got Northwestern, they got Wisconsin. Only tough game remaining is Oregon. They can possibly win 9-10 games. I gave PJ Fleck a lot of love and flowers last week because a couple of weeks ago, I made a mistake, said he was, I think, 3-18 versus ranked teams. Come to find out, he was 6-18 when he got that ranked win versus Nebraska, who I don't think should have been ranked. It made him 7-18 overall versus ranked teams. To follow that up with a beatdown versus Iowa, 41-3. I just want to, all right, I was off this past weekend. So I'm watching the game at home, but my son had the swim class, so I had to leave to go to swim class. So when I left, it's 7-0. The Iowa drove downfield, scored with ease. I'm like, all right, we got a good ball game. Drake Lindsey, this team, they go bounce back. We go into swim class, 10-0. We come out of swim class, it's 31-0 at halftime. And I was like, is this the same team that played last week? I'm like, this is what happens with PJ Fleck. You get one big win a year. The Nebraska win we'll claim is a good win. Storming the field.
Decent win.
We didn't agree with that. The storming of the field, that just says how low the bar is for the program. But they get a win, and then you follow it up with a dud like that. That can't be acceptable.
Yeah, my situation was similar because, the game starts. Iowa jumps on them quick. I'm like, man, I got to go to the gym. I got to go get my lift on. I got my devices and stuff like that. I can watch as I'm working out and all that, whatever. So I'm getting in the vehicle. It's 10-0. Before I can even get to 94, it's a pick six. And now it's 17-0. And I'm at the gym, and then it's 31-0. And I'm like, and this is the thing. Me and Ahmad told y'all last week, Gopher fans, okay, of which I'm one, that we didn't really think that the, rushing the field was the move against Nebraska. You rushed the field to get mollywopped by Iowa.
Yeah.
I mean, not a good look for us as fans. Because it just, come on.
You rushed the field versus an Ohio State versus a Oregon, top 5, top 10 team.
Yep.
But number 25 team that you've been beating year after year. And I didn't agree with PJ Fleck. Oh, let the kids get a memory, something they'll never forget. How about you go get a meaningful win versus a big team? They'll never forget that.
And we said this last week. We actually did say it.
We did.
But the Iowa, we know that we don't play well in Iowa. No. We just don't have a good history of going to Iowa and winning. Mm-hmm. We understand that. But even
only beating them one time, PJ.
I even questioned last week, though. I said 8.5? That seems like kind of a big line.
You did.
I was way off.
You did.
That line was not accurate.
That Iowa team that showed up, man, I wouldn't say I expected that. No, I didn't expect it. Let me just say, I didn't expect that. I did not expect them to only put up 3 points in that game. Darius Taylor, one couple of plays, 1 rush, 1 yard. Goes back to kind of what we said after that first game versus Buffalo. Why are you giving this guy 40 touches versus Buffalo when you go need him later in the year?
Did you see what we did rushing wise the entire game?
Yeah, I think
we had 24 rushes for 25 yards. 24 rushes for 25 yards.
Makes you think about, should Coach Fleck be letting his running backs touch the ball 40 times in a, I won't say meaningless opening game, but
to be fair, Lindsey threw three picks.
He did.
It was not going at all.
Nobody played well.
Yeah,
but this offense is better when Darius Taylor is healthy.
Yeah.
And they should have been thinking about that. And Ryan Burns, who I love his reporting and stuff like that, but he was debating me on Twitter about this that opening week, like, Darius Taylor had 8 months off. They needed to show they could eat off 8 minutes of the game, and this is why he had this time off. Like, they needed this at the end of the game. I'm like, my man is Buffalo. Like, this is game 1. He doesn't need 40 touches versus Buffalo. Like, so I just think that, not to say that his 40 touches led to his hamstring injury the following week.
No,
but
some of
it didn't help.
Yeah.
Like, you look back to the time that he's been here, and all of PJ Fleck's running backs, they get run to the ground.
You have to conserve guys.
You should protect your players.
If you have an early season game, and let's say that against a non-conference opponent, and you're up 35-0 at halftime, you know what? I don't want to see the starting quarterback in there after
the problem
halftime.
is they can't get up 35-0 at halftime.
I'm just saying. But I'm just saying as an example.
Yeah.
Like you got to know when to just.
I still think in games like that versus the Buffaloes versus like these smaller teams that you're going to win, that's why you play your backups. That's why you schedule games like that. I know Buffalo's a good team in their conference, but they're not a good team in the Big Ten. That's why you schedule games like that, so you can see the depth of your squad. So you don't have to give your boy 40 touches in a game. So I won't beat that dead horse, but hopefully Darius Taylor gets healthy because this team needs them. They got Michigan State now. Should be a bounce-back win for this team. Michigan State kind of hitting rock bottom. Just lost to Michigan this past week.
Yeah, but that ain't going to be easy. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, Michigan State is not going to be easy. I know that Michigan State is rebuilding too, but they've had a couple of games this year where they elevated their play. I think they only lost to Michigan by, 10?
It was 14 or something like that.
No, I don't think it was that. I think it was like 10.
I got to check.
So my point is that I don't think that it's just going to be a cakewalk with Michigan State. I just don't see that being the case. Michigan State's the type of team that's going to grind and battle. I bet when the line comes out on that from Vegas, I bet the line's going to be like 5.
That's it?
Probably.
All right, we got to see. Hold on. The line right now, -3.5.
Oh, for the Gophers, right?
Yep.
See?
-3.5.
3.5. I'm telling you, the Michigan State.
They lost by 11.
11. Okay. Yep.
They lost by 11. Yep.
So all I'm saying is that's not a given. That's not a given.
All right, we go see. We got to follow up on that one. That's a crazy line. Let's talk about our Timberwolves. Started the season good versus the Blazers. Ant came out.
Okay versus the Blazers.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Too many turnovers.
But Ant did what he said he was going to do. Versus lesser teams, he said he was going to come out, kill, dagger at the end of the game. Then they followed that up with a dud the very next. After the Vikings had a dud on Thursday, the Timberwolves followed that up with another one on Friday, and then the Gophers on Saturday. It was a bad weekend for Minnesota sports.
Yeah, it was.
But the Timberwolves.
In the Wild. Woo.
Yeah, man. Let's not even go there.
We don't even have time to talk about that.
Yeah, we don't even have time for that. So, but they came back, had the home opener versus the Pacers yesterday. They won that game, but it came at a cost. Yeah. Anthony Edwards hurt his hamstring, had to leave that game, didn't come back
3 minutes in.
Yeah. That's.
Yeah, so everybody knows that hamstrings are tricky. It's the right hamstring. I would anticipate that he's going to be out this week.
Maybe 2.
I mean, yeah, but the significance of this week is you had the opener last night. You played Denver tonight. You played the Lakers on Wednesday, and the Lakers, they have an additional injury now because no LeBron, no Luka for this week. So that's going to be kind of a game in which you're going to be like, man,
these are the ones they need to steal right now.
Yes, you got to steal them right now. I don't know about Denver. Denver, you ain't stealing.
Man, that's gonna be a tough game.
That's gonna be tough tonight. And it's a back-to-back.
And I think the bigger problem though with the Timberwolves right now, they need a point guard.
Yeah, and it bothers me. So I've been saying this since I first tweeted opening night. this is not to disrespect Dante DiVincenzo at all. He's not a point guard, though. And so, like, Mike Conley is now coming off the bench. DiVincenzo's in the starting lineup. Rob Dillingham got no run opening night. Then he finally got in the fourth quarter on Friday and broke his nose. I mean, my man just got all kind of bad luck going on right now. But before he was even a thought, Bones Highland's been getting in games.
He's been playing well.
And he's been playing well. Yeah.
They need defenders.
Yeah.
I think that's what that boils down to.
Helps,
yeah, I think that's what that boils down to. But I think that if this team is going to make a serious run, they got to find a point guard. They got to have an identity. And if it's not Rob Dillingham, it can't be Dante. Dante needs to come off the bench. That's a guy that provides spark, just get to the basket. I don't think he needs to be controlling the offense. So I think that they're gonna have some work cut out for them at the trade deadline this year because the Western Conference is loaded. I mean, the San Antonio Spurs and what Victor Wembanyama is doing, hitting 40-foot threes after blocking 2 consecutive shots, like
he is. We've never seen anything like him, man.
Man, I watch his highlights and my jaw just drops, and I'm like, you couldn't create a player like that on NBA 2K.
No, you can't. You can't.
Like, if you create a player on 2K.
He truly is a creative player. That's what he is.
But you can't even make that on 2K. Like, they won't even let you make a player that good. The Western Conference is scary, like.
And this is the scary thing about Wemby. Wemby won't even be into his prime until like another 5 years. He won't be in his prime until another 5 years from now. Oh, my Lord.
Needless to say, I won't say it's going to be a long season for the Timberwolves. They were projected to finish 4th in the Western Conference. They're going to have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, and there's a couple things, too. So a few observations that I've had. Naz Reid actually played well last night.
Yep.
The first 2 games, though, I thought he didn't play
trying
that
to
well.
find his identity.
Yeah, so he played well last night. But Terrence Shannon Jr. is going to have to figure it out. I think that he has not played that great here the first 3 games. He is prone to get sped up. Mm-hmm. He's got to watch that. Mm-hmm. They are speeding him up. If you see some of his shots that he's taking, you're like, not a good shot.
Yeah. I think that also comes to the fact that he hasn't played a lot. You know, like last year he played sparing minutes and then, you know, played a little bit in the playoffs because they needed that spark, you know, but they – yeah, I think patience is what we preach with a lot of Minnesota teams here, okay? Yep. Patience is going to be needed for Terrence Shannon Jr. I think he has to go through some of his growing pains if we ever want to see him become successful. But I think they need to figure out what's going on with Anto because you can only be without him for so long.
Yeah. It just right now I think that a lot of Timberwolves fans, even though the team won last night and the record is 2-1, I think that a lot of people looked at last night's performance and was just underwhelmed. Indiana's, you talking about injury ridden.
Nembhard out, Halliburton out, like.
I mean, they're a shovel. But the thing about the Pacers, though, regardless of who they play and who they put out there, they're going to play hard. They're going to fight hard. They what was it, double overtime against OKC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a Rick Carlisle team. A Rick Carlisle team. All right, well, I feel like that's a good spot to end it here this week. Vikings, big weekend versus Detroit. Must win. 3-4 right now, under the 500 mark. Got Lamar and the Ravens coming to town the following week, and Derrick Henry, like, must-win week right now.
Oh, tonight, good luck to Minnesota United.
Yeah, they start the playoff run.
They start the playoff tonight, yeah.
It's a big time for Minnesota sports right now. Hopefully, they can kind of give us a glimmer of hope, because right now, for the Vikings' sake, and the town is a little down right now, just like my voice. So shout out to the United, the Loons. Hopefully they go out there, go get that dub, and we'll see y'all next week for another episode of the H&H Podcast.